We would like to see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Safe Word Podcast. On the show today, my guest and old friend and foot-fingered Ron Josol, my guest here on the Safe Word Podcast, live here in Austin, Texas. I've got no shows coming. Yeah, I have shows coming up. Do I have shows coming up? I have nothing. You're very busy. You're one of the few people like myself that had the luxury of not having kids and to kind of more or less take advantage of what was left as far as show business.
Yeah, because most of our friends are married and divorced and have kids that they have to take care of, so they can't just leave in a drop of a dime. Like me, you, Yoshi, there's a few others that can just leave.
Yeah.
So a lot of our friends are like, man, I wish I was out there, but, you just can't leave. You can't just leave your family, your friends. And here's the truth. I'm friends with everybody, but I'm not close too much to everybody. Because
this is the first time you've looked me in the eye in 10 years.
I'm not looking in your eye. I'm looking at your eyebrows.
I do have a zit on my neck. You might be looking at that. We're here. You brought your aunt and your aunt here tonight.
That's your aunt.
They're
actually the same person in different universes.
Aunt Dave.
That's the white version of Justin, and that's the Filipino version of Matt.
Jeez. Can we trade back?
This is actually what we look like if we had beards that
Jesus. Big. Or didn't work with props. But anyway. You've been to Texas before.
I've only been to El Paso. I opened for Sugar Sammy in Addison, and I did a one.
Sugar Sammy in Texas?
He is a really big Indian population in Addison.
You know where the biggest Indian population is?
American Indian population.
American Indian?
No, East Indian.
East American Indian.
Yeah.
But is in Durban.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
In South Africa, that's the largest.
Oh, that's where they came in.
Yeah, I don't know. Russell said that they were brought there for slavery, but...
Yeah, but he brought John Paul there, and John Paul goes, why am I doing an Indian festival? I'm not Indian. He's like, come on, look at you. You people will be raped, too.
Yeah, you've been to South Africa?
Never been there.
No.
I you guys used to go to the festival all the time.
You shouldn't be ashamed of that either, because you've been to... I've counted 26 countries, 25 I've performed in.
No, you've done more, because in Africa, you can do 20 countries in a week.
Yeah, but I've only been Durban, Cape Town, Johannesburg.
Oh, okay. So I think
they're having some problems. I don't know if you've seen lately.
I turn off the television every time it goes to that.
Yeah.
I just ignore it.
Yeah.
I can't be part of everybody's world problems anymore. I have my own.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't want to be out there saving the world with one dick joke at a time?
I tried.
That was exhausting.
Yeah, so I probably hit around 50 to 60 countries in total.
What?
Yeah, because if you do
that's twice as many.
You know someone that knows you from Estonia?
Estonia?
Do you know a guy from Estonia?
I probably got kids there now.
You know what? When you were in Estonia, Ismo said you killed out there.
I had good fun in Tallinn.
Yeah.
But Ismo's from Finland.
But he plays Estonia.
Yeah.
So there's a guy there who does...
I've only been there once. Glenn Wool did his special in Estonia.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
At the same bar that I performed in.
I've never met him, but he's a Canadian.
Yeah. Vancouver guy.
Did you know him in Vancouver back in the day?
Glenn had won money on a scratch ticket and moved to Denmark literally a month before I started doing comedy.
Every time I go to Denmark, I always hear there's a comment that goes, "Do you know Jason Rouse?" I go, "Yeah." He shit in the toilet.
No, that wasn't. That
Sweden.
was more Sweden. Yeah, I used to poop everywhere.
Yeah, they all were like, "Yeah, he shit in this hotel."
I was a log father.
That's why you love Kenny
So
Loggins
it's
so
not
much.
an act. A lot of people think I'm just goofing around, but I've been shitting
for a long time.
You know I shit.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier before we started, I go, how many times have you actually seen it come out?
Like
you said 10 times.
But you know what? It's not. You're not watching it like, oh, those girls. You're like, what's he gonna do with it? It's more.
You know, I'm a picker-upper.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who grabs his own log.
You're the opposite of the Mr. Clean commercials.
A lot of people don't. Yeah, I'm Mr. Brown.
You're the original Russell Peters.
I used to.
When you shit on the roadkill.
Oh yeah, when JP almost.
I couldn't fucking believe you hit it because it was at least 30 meters away.
It was. I took a turd as long as this table.
I couldn't fucking believe it.
And I only say that is because we used to freeze frame it on amateur nights.
Yes, that's right.
It used to be.
If you bombed, you show your shit. That's
But
what
the long departed Young and Eglinton Toronto Yuck Yucks Club where we'd all met.
we
in
started it together.
90 or
Six.
7, 6.
97 for me, 96 for you.
Yeah.
And then, would you go in the...
You started 90. You were only a year.
No,
behind?
my first spot ever, 95. I didn't go back till 97 because I got booed
I
off the stage.
remember that. I remember you telling us, and we said, that's okay. We've all been booed off the stage.
Yeah.
And,
But you liked it. I remember when crowd booed you, we're like, and then like, no, guys, look. And you're like this. Yeah. Like, you know who liked getting booed off? You and Kevin Herrod. Kevin loved getting booed off the Nubian show.
None of us. I never I was terrified to get booed on that show.
The Nubian show?
They tried. And when I say they tried, one individual would challenge me. Somebody that had only been to the show one time.
Yeah.
And never seen me
The black
before.
comic
They
show.
figured, oh, this guy's in over his head.
Yeah.
He's got no loyalty here.
But here's the crazy part. You'd go on at the very after the headliner sometimes. So you come in and go, hey, Kenny, can I go spot? There's a headliner on stage already. Kiss, sorry. I'll go after. If you want to go after when people walk out, that's up to you. And then fucking you go in and do your egg joke about the Cadbury egg and you eat black pussy and you open up as a Kinder Surprise.
Yeah.
And all the black girls like, whoa!
I had a situation. I can't even talk about this stuff because I hate the gossip aspect.
Yeah, you
of
can't
it.
talk about it now.
No, but there's some other shit. No.
Your ex-girlfriend.
No.
She was a hot black girl.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. And then
We're still friendly. There's very few of my exes.
JoJo.
I never talked to. There's maybe about a half a dozen of my ex-girlfriends.
Which ones do you remember the most? Here's my
The
favorite.
ones who never called the cops on me.
Don't look at those guys. Sarah, the Coke girl. That was my favorite.
Coke girl.
Remember Sarah, the Coke head?
Which one? They were all coke
Oh,
heads.
that's right. She was actually on a video. She was on television.
I'll tell you one time.
Yeah.
My Estonian girlfriend came to Massey Hall.
Right.
And we got in an argument, and she
Threw the bottle at you.
no a glass of red wine.
Yeah, that's right.
Right in front of Mark Breslin, and I remember Mark seeing this glass fly through the air, smash on the wall. This is nice theater on New Year's, it was my birthday, and Mark just going, "All right, we're out of here." I remember
Mark
multiple
loves
times. You must get some stalkers occasionally, don't you?
I get guys that look like me that are fatter.
Okay. And just kind of hitting on you? Or?
Look behind you.
It looks like every character that was cut out of The Simpsons.
Yeah. You know what girls I get? Because Asians get different type of girls. I get white girls that have Asian fetishes.
Yeah.
Right? Or are just at a show. Like, if outside,
Yeah.
it's different.
No, I know girls that like that they have extreme Asian fetishes.
Yeah.
White girls.
Yeah, it's weird.
Pretty girls. I don't know, and they seem like genuinely like it's a thing. It's like a foot thing. I don't understand
It
it.
is a fun thing. I remember this one
I
girl.
have a fetish for hole.
You do.
Yeah, I'm an old romantic.
What did Mark say when that girl threw that thing? Did he just walk out? Did he say
Yeah,
anything?
I think he did like an about turn because I think he was with Karina at the time.
Yeah.
And they could clearly know, oh, here we go. Jason's having one of his moments.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it have been flowers?
How come? I remember you did a show, and you've been living in the U.S. before us for a long time, and then you.
Ron and I have known each other for over
25 years.
25 years.
And I remember you're like, I'm doing a show in Toronto, and you're like, okay, I'll hang out if I see you. So you did a show in Toronto that was a theater, and then Mark called me and said, don't do the show, and you're like, why? I don't even work here. And he kind of forgot that we don't work with it for him. I think he forgets.
After I'd moved to England or something like that.
And then you had to do this show that someone put together that was outside of Yuck Yucks, but you were still like scared. We were both still scared.
Well, we didn't want to really lose the protection of. It was the only place.
Well, you don't need it.
Yeah, but you do for censorship issues.
Yeah.
I don't know. I run into problems with people.
Mark was that way though.
He let me say and do
anything.
whatever I wanted.
Yeah, like remember you used to do the peanut butter bit where you make a.
Dude, I used to lay on the cops naked with my dick out. Okay.
You know stuff? I was watching this old video of you and Donnie Coy in a TV daytime morning, and you grabbed his dick.
I did.
And you can't do that now, but I couldn't.
On live television, people were pissed.
You were holding his balls through the fucking interview.
I would pretend that I was reaching for something, and you'd have to. This is on live television.
And this guy's a 75-year-old man.
And local legend.
Yeah. That's what they call comedians in Canada.
First of all, I just won a Gemini Award.
Right, so you were allowed to grab cock.
I couldn't believe it either.
That's right. You did the interview with a Speedo.
I was wearing a leather Speedo and a Gemini Award, sexually harassing an elderly comedian on morning live television.
You couldn't do that.
It was great. The weather girl couldn't even carry.
She was laughing.
She was like, it's going to be a little cummy out today. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in live television. I'm banned from radio in Finland for that same reason.
Yeah.
But you've run into problems.
Yeah, so if I go to a Muslim country and I say something like damn, that's how I relate to you.
Yeah. I've gone to Muslim countries. I've performed in.
Yeah, you've done
Dude, I just signed.
at least you do that. You can get away with it there for some reason. I don't know why.
No, they politely asked me. Normally, I wouldn't challenge the politics of. I had no interest in getting my head chopped off in the name of comedy.
Exactly, they'll hang you.
And I told them I'm not really there to provoke any kind of. I'm not a fucking idiot. Just don't go. I'm not going to be upset from politics. I had a great time there.
Yeah, it's great. I saw the sand. You're in the desert. It's on the video.
We did
the desert.
We did with Stephen K. Amos.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember Steve? Did you? Because you came over to England.
I did.
How many times did you make trips to England?
4 times.
Did you stay with me at one point?
I stayed with you once, and I stayed with John Hastings.
Yeah.
And then I had a hotel once. Yeah, John Keyes had some shows for me.
Yeah.
Some weird shit. This is like early.
It was fun. Did you?
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I needed a visa.
Yeah.
And I couldn't afford it back then. So
Yeah.
I just was like, because you had to be, if you're under 30, you get a $100 visa, because under 30, you get this special deal there.
It was really difficult. If you didn't have an ancestry set up there, it
was so hard.
That's why I told, a lot of the younger Canadian comics, the same conversation I had with Craig Campbell when he'd started coming back from, he's like, oh, I was just in Hong Kong and Australia, and I'm like, I want to go to I've been to Hong Kong. Actually, I had a great time.
Hong Kong's
So I don't know why I
awesome,
keep looking at you guys as like some sort of moral compass. And I go, this is not going to help the Pirates of the Caribbean on my couch.
Pirates.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
I play Hong Kong with Justin. Here's the cool thing about Hong Kong: you love Asian food. And
I like all of it.
and hot water. So I'm like, you know who'd like Hong Kong? Jason, because there's hot water in the taps, like in a fountain.
Yeah.
That China and Hong Kong is hot water.
Always hot?
Yeah, because everybody drinks tea.
Yeah.
So it's never cold. So ours is cold.
Yeah.
So you could hear when you turn on a fountain, you hear, and it's a refrigeration. This is the opposite. It's a water heater.
But how is that for water quality?
It's a better.
Is it?
Yeah, man. Their water is okay. Hands down, Sweden's the best water.
Norway.
Norway's better.
Yeah. I remember just the tap and a glass of water. I'm like, this tastes nothing like cigarette butts.
Yeah. I dated a girl there, so when we were like, it was so weird living in her house because it's so.
You were living in Norway with a Norwegian girl?
I was dating this Norwegian girl, Dorothy, and whenever I would do
Dorothy, they have weird names, don't they?
Yeah, and she was like a quarter Filipino, and then I would go there to do gigs at.
She was quarter Filipino.
Yeah. So
Me and Yoshi got yelled at that ladder.
Why?
Because the old man stood up, giant Norwegian old guy, like rich old white guy, just stunk of oil and money, stands up and goes, and I go to the guy in the front, I go, what did he just say? And he says, he didn't come here to be insulted in front of his wife.
Oh yeah,
And
I heard about that.
Yeah, after Yoshi, yeah, we did better. And Bergen was always better. Stavanger, Bergen.
I loved Bergen. We did
Bergen's great.
We did Bergen Comic Club, Justin and I.
Oh yeah,
We had to close it, and they fucking awesome.
yeah. You guys must have killed it there.
Easily. And
Super nice.
And you're so scared before because you don't think your shit's gonna work. But everybody could understand English and not speak it perfectly. Sometimes they'll take you out. So like the audience members are like, "Would you like to get food?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we're at the dinner table, and they go, "I didn't realize that some of our friends can't speak English very well because we don't speak English to them." So in the dinner table, you see different levels of English. Confidence. So
But then add alcohol, and everyone thinks they speak perfect.
Then it's like the funny thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're so nice there. They're really nice people.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. You know.
The girl brought me to where her ancestors. So basically, something like 50 years ago, a Filipino came there where they were like basically working, and then they had children with some locals and left. So her descendants.
That's the only reason there's decent food in
Norway
is because of the
I didn't try the whale.
tourism.
Did you try the whale out there?
They try to get me to do that in Iceland.
Did you try it?
Nah, I don't need to do whale. What
I
am
wanted
doing
to try
whale?
it.
I had
That's why-
puffin, but I'm not doing
What's
whale.
puffin?
It's that fucking poor bird that looks like a penguin, but a parrot.
You ate it?
I ate it.
Fuck.
I didn't keep the head on, so I remember.
How did that taste?
Look, they slice it thin, they ferment it or whatever, pickle it or whatever it is. It's fucking.
They have a lot of fermented fish stink in Sweden.
There's a legendary, I don't know who can remember the name of it, but there's a can of fermented fish that when you open it,
Yeah, dude, that stunk the room up.
room will stink up the whole floor.
Dude, but they love it.
Well, I think it's like anything. It's like when you go to Newfoundland and they try and squeeze you in.
Kiss with a kiss of fish.
You gotta make out with a fish and fuck some guy's retarded wife.
Yeah.
I think that's what they had me to do. I don't know if that's if I was doing it right. Yeah, what's the worst in all the places you've been in those 50 countries? What was the weirdest tourist superstition that they tried to get you on board for?
There's a bunch, but like just weird stuff I would say is Haiti was kind of weird like that when I went to Haiti.
I saw Serpent Under the Rainbow.
Well, it's kind of like that.
Do you know that movie?
Yeah, I love that. It's
It's in
70s movie.
It's in Haiti, I think,
Yeah,
right?
There is a very scary horror movie back in the
That's
day.
terrifying.
Yeah. So they were telling us just stuff like, not voodoo, but they're like, when you walk down the street, you walk on this side and not that side.
They're superstitious.
Just, yeah.
Are they Catholic?
No, the African the religion's an African religion, and there's different forms of it, right? But it's almost like it's
a lot of superstition and traditions.
I don't know what the main African religion is. Do you know?
Oh, there's probably 200 of them.
What's the African religion, like the main one? Because I know that Eddie King used to tell us about it.
The voodoo.
It's like voodoo, but there's another name for it. But it's like that. So when I was in Haiti, they were saying you don't walk on this side, and then they have like things you don't go under. Like just there's always something there.
Do you ever think that they tell you these things and then they giggle from their windows?
Yeah, because
watching the tourists. Do
Yes.
they say, look at these guys walking on the same side of the street, fucking tourists.
Because
buy a keychain, stupid.
I say the same thing to people that ask me questions that are white when I'm in Asia. Because I lie a lot.
I do. I use the same excuse every time. When people come up to me to ask directions, I just say I've been raped.
Yeah.
And I just start crying.
That's what Mike Cliff said as a joke when we were at the Dominican Republic. We're all doing the tour.
Oh, were you there?
Yeah, and we were the last show because after Mike, they canceled the whole gig because he started throwing chicken wings at the back of this lady's head. So basically, he
was on stage?
No, so our day off. He goes, hey, it's a Super Bowl. Can we go watch the Super Bowl?
So you were there?
I was there.
Okay.
That was my only time.
It was 3 comics.
It was only me and him because they only had a budget for 2, and we had to do 45 minutes each. I only had 5 minutes at the time, and they forced me to do 45. I've never seen people walk out twice. They walked out, hoped that I was done, came back, and then walked out again. I've never felt pain like that before.
There's nothing else to do. We had to do a lap around the hotel.
This guy went to the water park, came back, goes, this motherfucker's still on.
And you hear them like, fuck.
Yeah, so I get a call from, he died now, Paul Smith.
Yeah.
So Paul's like,
Brain tumor.
And he was like, hey man, you got to get to the Dominican this weekend. Well, I have to leave tomorrow. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, what's his name? Jim Carrey's best friend couldn't make it, right? He's dead too. He's dead too, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, they're all dead. Are you alive still?
No. I committed
Are we ghosts right now?
This is like Sixth Sense.
Yeah. And then so I go with Mike, and Mike's never been outside of Toronto, Vancouver. And then we fly down there, and it was just fucking insane. Like, Mike tried to fight people because he was so weirded out.
Yeah.
And he was like, what are you looking at? And he's like, I'm the guard here. Well, stop looking at me. And he's like, I'm the guard. I have to look at everybody. And then after, he's like, I'm going to fight that guard. I'm like, I don't think you should. The guard fights a German guy. And then
right there?
Yeah, because the German guy was getting mad at him, and then all these cops come in and arrested this German guy, put him in a paddy wagon.
Yeah.
And he looks at us like, he'll be in jail for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then Mike's
They're
like,
not in a rush to help you.
no.
Especially in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
I don't know what their prison system's like, but I've seen enough prison documentaries to know it ain't a spa.
Yeah, you're not going to get a walk if you really need some
gringo.
So he starts going, hey, we need to watch the Super Bowl. And so the lady or whoever the booker brings us to the Canadian club.
Yeah.
So it's like a bar for Canadians. And we're all there, we're watching, and Mike gets drunk, and he takes taking chicken bones and whipping this lady that's in the front row as a joke. We're all watching the Super Bowl. Yeah. And everybody's like, well, why are you doing that to this lady? He's like, I don't know, I just think it's fun. She gets up, turns around, and goes, Mike, Ron, you guys are going to go home. I'm the booker here. And he goes, what? He's like, your shows are done. So they canceled Puta Plata. Or Puta Canta. I mean, we didn't even do any shows the last week. We were there for 3 days, and then they canceled our shows, and that was the end of the whole fucking Dominican Republic tour for 5 years, because he offended her. So nobody knows the story, and I wasn't supposed to tell you because Mike told me never to tell the reason why we lost the cruises. It was an amazing gig.
I bet.
Yeah, he lost it because Stan Thompson, who got splashed in the throat.
Yeah,
His sound was actually better than he did before he got slashed in the throat because his voice was like this before he got slashed. Yeah, kid, so let's go. Yeah, and then remember when the doctors go, he last to the surgery, everything's great, but the problem is you're gonna sound like a frog for the rest of your life. He was like, oh really?
He's a singer now.
Yeah,
he had a terrible voice.
and it became better when he got his
what was it?
mustache.
I think you did. You go, here's Stan Thompson smoking, and then you just take a cigarette butt and just throw it into your mouth. Just eating lit cigarettes.
He was about to live there because he loved it so much. Everybody loved the gig.
Well, you could get a blowjob for $9.
Four. We did the calculations.
Wow.
Because you have to, after the blowjob, they actually go. They're the you ever go,
After the blowjob is the engagement ring. If I remember, is that how you told me, Grandpa? Here's your parting gift.
And then so we lost the gig, and Mike's like, "Yeah, don't tell anybody. I'm the reason why this gig's done."
Wow. Yeah, that would happen. Anytime the comedians would get anything nice, and I think this happens anywhere in the world, is it like, wow, it's a really nice green room, they got fruit out, and there's a cheese plate, some TV, with the waitresses come in, would you guys, and you're like, wow, who's gonna blow this? Who's gonna fuck this?
So I can name a bunch. Mike Wilmont fucked up this Niagara Falls show that we used to do. It wasn't.
Was it a one-nighter?
Yeah, it was a one-nighter, and then he fell off the stage.
He got hammered.
Oh my God! It was. He fell off the stage.
Mike Wilmont should fall off the stage.
He was so drunk he fell off the stage and he landed in the front row, the round table, and they flipped it, and these people were like freaking out, and he was snoring.
He was out cold.
He was snoring. He was in the ground.
I love that.
And then the booker comes up and says, "Okay, everybody, next week, everybody come in free. We want our money back." And I was like, "No, sorry, but next week you get free or whatever." So everybody left, and the guy gave me $50 not to tell yucks.
That's amazing, though. But if that had happened in England, he would have been. He would have. If you were in England and did that,
they would have given him a parade.
They would have put him up in the local theater for like one night only. Piss tank, Mike. But that's the Canadian. The artist got drunk and took a header off the stage. Yeah, they should be doing that every night. That's what makes them fucking hilarious. You can't do that at your job. If you got on your garbage truck and fell in the back and was crushed, you know what I mean? It would be frowned upon. But
if you made a peanut butter bikini,
Mike Wilmont knocking over a table of Zambuca shots is fucking amazing.
I couldn't stop laughing, dude. And he had a concussion. He could have died, but it was funny.
It's amazing. I really enjoy highly intoxicated.
Why is that so funny to us?
It's because
it's more than comedy.
First of all, how many times have you seen Mike Wilmont destroy a room?
Oh, crazy! You forget how funny it is because we see everybody. But if you get high and watch Mike,
yeah.
It reminds you when you first met him when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You're like, holy, how funny this! Because you know your friends, so you don't watch them the same way. But if I smoke, then watch them, I'm like, oh yeah, this is so fucking funny.
Well, that's separate yourself from yourself enough to actually look at it as like a viewing at an art gallery.
That's what weed does to me, though. I could separate.
Are you smoking weed?
I do edibles now. Because I quit smoking.
I got something for you.
I love edibles. Hey, Justin, I'll tell him the story about the edibles.
These are concentrates.
Okay. So check this out.
Absolute extract.
Please give me this. And I'll tell you the story right now. So I'm playing Stir Crazy Comedy Club. That's in Arizona.
Bragger?
It's just a regular club.
No, I'm kidding.
It's not like...
Stir Crazy.
It's like a 150-seater.
Yeah.
And really great room. I'll introduce you to the guy. He's an awesome dude.
He'll never have me, but thank you.
I know. I just say that because I'm from Hollywood.
Yeah. I'll get you in there, and like, as soon as the guy Googles me, it's like, why are there only babies covered in blood?
Right. And
if you Google, there's babies in blood.
So I do around. Now I do 80 edibles a day, 80 milligrams.
80
minimum. Right. And
that's healthy.
Yeah. So it's basically 4 or 3 syringes of the oil.
Yeah.
Right. So Justin bought his the other in Stir Crazy, and I'm like,
is it the black?
Yes.
Okay. It's like hard molasses.
No. The bottle's black, but I think it's see-through.
Oh, I think I saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah, that's another one.
Eddie, my friend Eddie, drank a 900 milligram THC.
Right.
And had to do a gram of coke to get his eyes to open up.
Okay, check this
That's
out.
how high it was.
So I take
900.
I take 3.
300?
No, 3 squirts, because that's 80 in my head.
Yeah.
Or 60. It's 20.
Yeah.
So, and Justin goes, "Why'd you take so much?" I go, "It's just 60." And then he goes, "No, 1 drop." How much, Justin, was it?
15 milligrams.
15 milligrams for 1 drop. 1 drop.
Yeah.
I did a full 3 syringes.
Yeah.
Things. He calculated to be how much?
It's like over 1,400.
1,400.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I couldn't
You
wake
can't
up.
die. You can't die.
But what happened?
That's okay.
My eyes couldn't open, right?
Dude, your eyes are bugged out. One was shut. Your face is bright red.
Puff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call it greening out, I guess.
Dude, I felt like the floors everywhere were ice. And then you know who took care of me? Fucking Yoshi.
I was going to say that jokingly.
Yeah.
And it was Yoshi.
Yoshi fucking.
I was going to say that. I go, Yoshi? And he's like, Yoshi.
Yeah. He put me in his car with the AC on and just checked me of like every hour.
Yoshi's a soldier.
He's amazing.
Yoshi's-
He's kind of like you. He reminds me of you.
Oh, we have the same smile.
Yeah, you don't smile. Yeah, you guys could be related to that smile. But do you feel akin with him? Do you feel like
I love Yoshi.
What is it that you like about Yoshi that makes you?
Because he's got no kids and he doesn't judge me.
Yeah, that's right. He doesn't judge you.
There's no judgment. Yoshi's seen and been around some of the most insane
Yeah, you know you could have done a show for the Taliban when he was in the Middle East.
Oh yeah, but I heard that he was too rough for them.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you were disgusting.
They're like, bring out the beheading guy again. This giant dude is too much, too dirty. Grandmother's pussy, what? Yoshi destroyed in Finland. Oh, and Finland is where he really shined. I never seen an audience like they acted like he was already famous.
Oh yeah, remember Sweden? Oh fuck, killer there.
Yeah.
You know what? You had to put him in the middle because when we had him open, oh my god.
Yeah, totally.
We put him in the middle.
They had to adjust to the idea that they were seeing North American comedy.
First an Asian, and then an Asian that can speak English.
I only see laughter. I don't see. Yeah, I purposely did that in Vancouver. You know that.
What?
I had Yoshi and Feng Chao.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. Because
Feng Chao's awesome.
killer.
Yeah.
I had him hosting.
You know what's crazy about Feng Chao?
I had him hosting.
Here's the crazy thing about Feng Chao. He came to me in an open mic before he started comedy, and he goes, "What do I need to do to be a comedian?" I go up twice a day for 2 years and call me in.
That accent's bang on, by the way.
I know, it sounds like Yoshi. And he goes, so I'm in Ottawa headlining, bragging again, because it's a basement. And Howie's like, there's some kid, Feng Shua.
He was in Ottawa?
Yeah, because he just goes around looking for gigs, right? And they're like, yeah, what about him? He's like, he says he knows you and he wants to open. I'm like, I don't remember him, and I saw him in the back. I don't remember him. He's like, yeah, you told me that to do it twice a day for 2 years and then finally call you back. I go, you did it? He goes, I missed 2 shows.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but then I doubled up on him the week after.
Yeah.
He got up and got a half standing ovation.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Well, that mathematically, he just did the math that you told him. You go, look, 1 + 1 is 2.
Yeah.
Now you're going to do that for
2 years.
For 2 years, and then come to me, and he destroyed.
Yeah. And he goes, I just did what you told me to do.
It's as simple as that, and then that twice a week or more if you can, but a minimum of twice a week.
No, he did twice a day.
He was doing stand-up twice a day
for 2 years, and he missed 2 days.
He should try some of those night shows. They're way better than.
Yeah, the noon shows.
Yeah, you gotta do at least. There's a minimum to gain any traction.
Remember that show you did? You got banned from because you shit in a fucking.
Whoa!
No, you shit in a beer.
My son's here with his daughter.
What was it? It was fuck.
I shit everywhere.
Fanshawe. You shit in a beer bottle on stage.
No, a girl shoved a beer bottle up my ass.
Sorry.
It was in my ass. No, but I did.
You got banned from.
I got a video. Yeah, but I was done. That was my kiss goodbye to colleges. I think remember the booker telling me, go look at. This is probably the last year for you.
Right.
Was it meat?
Was it meat?
Meat up my ass?
No, Meat, the guy from
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was a nice guy.
But there was the guy at Niagara College,
Oh,
David
yeah.
Rappelj,
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, he was always cool. He was like, I really love it, but they're coming down on me about you guys. It's been getting too crazy. And I go, that's fine. I go, I'll try and clean it up. And I'm like, who wants to shove a beer bottle up my ass? And this girl comes up, and I bend over, and she got it the first shot, and you could hear the thump, and then me go, and then go, and everyone went quiet because they were like, she wasn't holding on to it. First the beer bottle hanging on my ass, and I just went, and then I go, and I push it, and it pumps out of my ass, rolls off the stage and everyone's table, and they move out of the way because there's this brown bottle rolling around, and she's like in her bra and underwear, and I'm making out with her after she shoved the beer bottle. Anyway, that's how you don't get invited back. That is how you don't get invited back. But then, after anytime I'd done anything of merit, like an award or anything, everything.
I was the opposite of you, but you know what I mean. It was kind of like when we did shows together. It was easy to go after each other because it was an opposite person.
Completely. But that's what I've noticed, and people brought this up. The Canadians that have been visiting me over the last 6 months, all the Canadian comics are all so different.
Yeah, so
all
different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
All completely different.
Yeah.
Just watching the Canada Day lineups, everything from Russell Peters and Tom Green.
Yeah.
Harlan Williams, Jeremy Hotz.
Jim Carrey, obviously.
Jim Carrey. The list
Norm
goes
Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald. Oh, nothing like
alike.
each other. Not even close.
Well, I think because we never learned from we looked at everybody's differences and respected it, liked it, but not tried to be that. If you tried to be you, you'd fail.
I think because comedy,
a lot of comics tried to be you and Dave Merhesh and Russell Peters for the ethnic guys, and you can't be that because eventually, after 10 years, it's your real self.
Well, you played yourself.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, why did I try to be somebody else for 10 years?
You can't play yourself. You got to get in and dig.
Yeah.
Dig your own grave and sleep in it.
Yeah, because I liked certain comics when I started. You probably liked certain comics too, but you try to be them and you realize you can't.
I was trying to make up somebody funny that no one would know.
Who?
No, I was going to think of some Canadian obscure.
Bob Keel. Bob Keel played.
Yeah.
Bob was an amazing comic.
Yeah.
But he was
Not
just
in England.
No, he did the space joke in England.
Yeah, and they yelled out, "What are you going to do?"
You know what? He was an amazing road dog. Well, yeah, him, Stan Thompson, who fought. Remember that legendary fight they had in his backyard, where it was like a whole 4 hours, and that's why they don't have teeth today. That was the reason why they said it wasn't alcohol, guys, or drugs or meth. We had one fight.
Remember, Stan's teeth would fall out at the dinner table.
During the dinner table,
he would just start his teeth.
Oh my God! So remember we did
That's right.
Where was that?
Kingston.
It's Kingston, right?
In that diner by the Howard Johnson at the bottom of the hill.
We saw naked girls dancing on the dance floor. We ran out of gas.
Oh! I got that on videotape.
Yeah, it was in Susan. What's the north part of Canada?
It was in
Sudbury. Yucks.
It was Sudbury. Yucks. First of all,
you were this. I remember the first time that was the first time. You were the second road trip I had, and you picked up this girl.
That was the last night.
Yeah,
of the show.
You picked up this chubby brunette, and I had her hot blonde friend, and then after that, I didn't know what to do.
I don't even remember that
because it's my first road gig. So I go, okay, so what do we do? He's like, yeah, you take your friend. I'll take one for the team. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean take one for the team?
I took the pin.
Yeah,
for you.
Yeah, and then I didn't know what to do with the hot blonde girl. So you went to the room. And I'm like,
and I raped you.
No, we're both there. I'm like, so what do you want to do? And I'm like Ryan McLuna, like just no clue. And she's like, I don't know. Should I just take off my clothes?
Oh, really? She called you out.
No, and after I'm like, I guess so. She's like, you don't really do this, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like,
Sleep around.
I go, no. And she's like, do you want to just order a pizza? So we ordered a pizza. And then we listened to you bang the other girl.
I didn't even want to bang. I was just trying to make a statement.
And then after the next night,
I do a solid. See, don't help your fucking friends. I make you fuck some fat chick against a wall with a bale of apples under her chin. No one's even here. I'm just yelling at the wall.
I drive her home, and she kisses me on the lips and gives her phone number, which I lost.
Pepperoni still stuck to her chin. You were wonderful.
So pretty, but she was like, good, because
I think I vaguely remember
and
that.
then so the next morning I go, how was it? And you're like, ugh, that dish pig, I couldn't even come. I faked my orgasm to get her out of the house.
She goes, that's a hell of a load. And I said, I didn't come. I just puked on your back.
And after I was like, all right. So we drive back to Toronto. My car runs out of gas halfway through. That's a 5-hour or 4-hour drive, or even.
You got to specify the temperature. Now, if I remember correctly, what is that in Fahrenheit?
It would be minus 32 Celsius is.
It was like 142 with the wind chill.
It was fucking freezing.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then
I was scared. I was really
worried. This is not even a joke.
We weren't going to be able to walk for more than an hour before we died.
And Stan Thompson's eating, so we're driving, and he's eating a Subway sandwich, and his tooth falls on the sandwich. And he goes, look at that. And he really takes it and puts it in his pocket, and he starts eating again.
Yeah.
And then my car runs out of gas. I go, that's a bad sign. No wonder this is happening.
Yeah.
Then we go, Stan goes, you two go in and go look for gas. we parked into this motel
with a bar.
We walk in and we see
it was
3
bad.
girls dancing naked on the dance floor.
It looks like Dusk Till Dawn with none of the good stuff.
Fucking 100%. It looks like we're in Laredo.
It was scary.
We're in Laredo. And
in Indiana Jones when the Nazis go into that Himalayan cabin and the guy burns us. That's
exactly what it
like
was.
that. Me and Ron walk in. First of all, we're grateful now because now we're not gonna die.
Yeah.
Now there's a woman on the floor with about 13 chairs all around with guys just kind of leaned over, watching her roll around, stripping.
And then he goes, and we're like, we're looking for gas or.
He was not happy to see us.
Like, and then this is what Stan said. So the guy goes like this, all right, put your car in the back. And then we go back in the car and we're like, well, he just said to go bring our car to the back. What does that mean, Stan? He was like, well, I'm going to get some gas or you motherfuckers are going to get shot in the head, because he's looking at you like, well, I got a faggot and a chink here. I'm going to kill these guys and sell their bones.
You can keep the faggot, but the train station.
Yeah, that was the line.
And Sam started laughing. He goes, no, Sam, he's giving us snowmobile gas. It's not like that.
Yeah, then we go to the back, and then this thing, gas pump comes out of the fucking snow.
He was, and
he filled it up for fucking $10.
Yeah. No, he says, listen, because of its snowmobile gas, it was blue.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's super high quality. He said, well, look, we're worrying about our lives.
Yeah.
We'll pay whatever you want. Actually, the guy with his teeth falling out might suck your dick. Stan just pulled behind a barn by some hillbillies. Yeah, it was very disheartening to see that. That girl didn't have a stage.
No, it was on a floor, bro.
It was on a dirty pub floor. We could probably track down the location on Google or something like that.
I don't know if that place exists. I don't know. And then we drove back to Yuck Yucks because I dropped everyone else. Then we all went to the Crown Duke and the whatever. Right above a Crown and Rose.
Yeah,
Rose and Crown. Rose and Crown.
Yeah.
And everybody came from Ottawa or different Yuck Yucks gigs, and they all had a story. We all were like, oh, this just happened, and Jason the thing, and Rhonda, and everybody had a story. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Everybody comes back on Sunday night or Saturday night and talks about their fucking crazy time.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because you'd spend so many hours in transport to get from show to show.
And you had to vent it somewhere.
And you were usually stuck with the same person for a week, 2, 3, sometimes a month in some cases. And that could be a completely different mess than actually the show. Sometimes the worst part of the tour is actually the shows.
Yeah, it really is. And sometimes you just go, oh, now it was so much fun, now we have to do comedy to fuck it all up.
Yeah, and you know, just from being in the town that day, that it ain't gonna go well.
No, but what was cool is those tours were kind of made us today. So let's say you do the
Kevin Bacon in Footloose.
I loved that movie.
Same shit. That's what Canadian show business is like. The sheriff with his scripture chin, which I got pulled over with Dylan Mandelson listening to the Dixie Chicks with our shirts off.
That's hilarious.
I thought the cop was going to shoot us through the window.
I remember before Dylan got in with Laugh Factory, he
Laugh Factory.
He goes, you know what, man? I got in, but Jason made fun of me in front of Jamie so much that I didn't think he would like me. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, hey, because back then everybody used faggot, that word. I don't know why.
Oh, Masada uses that word excessively.
And then he kept calling, because you said, he's
bisexual.
Yeah.
He pays for sex.
Some weird shit. And then he kept calling Dylan that, faggot.
Yeah.
And
no, Jamie did that to everybody. Dylan likes the...
So Dylan thought it was just him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's everybody.
Most artists think it's about them.
Right. But it was just, he just said it to everybody.
He's always said it.
Yeah.
Always said it.
Yeah. But Dylan's
not me though.
Dylan was kind of like a guy that you brought out as a lot as an opener. Why did you like Dylan to bring out a lot?
I think it was our passion for Jim Carrey's career.
Yes.
We both were very much...
You guys had very similar...
I still love it. I was thinking about it today, and just some of the... Russell introduced me to Jim's daughter.
Wow.
On a Christmas or something like that. She was at the house.
That's amazing,
and I just
dude.
said, your dad was, the blueprint for anything that I could do.
You did more, like, say because your comedy was extreme level, so people forgot how physical you were too, because they were so like, look at the other side.
I was active,
but you were just as physical as Dylan, if not even more, like, because he didn't move the way you did, but he's such a physical facial guy, but you're a physical body and face guy.
That's because I was forced to develop those other skills for communication issues even before comedy. Is my physicality would fill in the blanks of information I couldn't get across from my lack of whatever.
Because you're from Hamilton?
Most definitely Hamilton. All of it. Just that environment I grew up.
Yeah, because who was the guy?
I was skateboarding. I was throwing myself downstairs.
You would break your ankle all the time, dude.
No. Just this arm. I messed up my ankle pretty bad, but I've only had the breaks.
Do you still snowboard? I mean, you still
not skating. I've been riding BMX again.
Yeah, I love bikes.
I've got a series of bucket list things that I want to do. There's dirt jumps here and stuff. I'm slowly building.
Do you
up
feel
my
physically feel good still?
Oh yeah, I feel great.
Do you feel older in any level?
I walked from Hamilton to Toronto.
Wow, that's 5 hours.
Remember that?
That's 5 hours.
5 hours?
Isn't it?
16.
Holy fuck.
900,000 steps.
Why did you do that?
Me and Boomer and Casey did it.
Oh, Casey Corbin?
No, Casey, his girlfriend.
He's too fat to do that.
Damn it. I thought that was...
Casey's like...
Casey, Boomer's girlfriend.
How do you do that?
We walked from Hamilton.
Well, he must have been so tired.
Oh, we couldn't walk for 3 days.
Shit. You might have chased.
We walked from Hamilton Gore Park to the Keg on Front Street.
You could have called me for a lift.
No, we were challenged. And then last year, I rode that bicycle from Niagara Falls to Toronto with Boomer. So this year, we're going to...
So you're more healthy than you were back when you started? You're healthier, but you're just older.
My recovery's slower. But my abilities, it's the same.
Really?
I really don't feel like I could still run and jump and move the way I did.
Right.
As a
you kept it up, though.
I've always been, that traveling stuff, you have to take care of yourself.
You ever meet someone your age and go, you look awful?
Yeah, every day.
I can't believe you're that old.
I love telling people I'm almost 50 just to see their jaws drop.
That's crazy.
I've met guys in
I'm
their late
47.
20s.
I'm turning 47 in a week.
And
or
you
so.
look better. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, man.
You clearly know from the scale, this might be like. I don't think you've ever been this light.
No, because I would have been dead in 5 years if I didn't change my eating habits and worked out every day.
Yeah, but
Because I was 250 pounds when we knew each other.
no, that much. You were 250.
I was a fat fucking bear.
But you had a nice jacket.
And
Always nice jacket.
Always. Oh my God! You always had nice rebel
Brown
jackets.
leather. You had a brown leather
Always had like
jacket.
Danier shit, and then you'd be like you get like a Queen Street
It
jacket.
made you look like a James Bond villain with,
Did it really?
with the box hair.
That's right. I used to have James Bond villain jokes.
Yeah.
The Odd Job.
Odd Job.
Remember I used to do jokes on Odd
Great
Job?
character. Yeah, that's right.
I used to do a joke about Odd Job. I used to say, there's nobody on TV that looks at me and looks like me, so if I ever got a role on TV, it'd probably be the biography Odd Job.
That's right.
And then
I used to yell out, a lot of people say I look like Tom Hanks, and then someone would just go, AIDS. And I go, yeah.
Remember you and Dan used to do a two-man show?
Fuck. I saw Dan on a flyer recently in Toronto.
No, you didn't.
He
shaved his
some
hair.
show.
His hair's different.
Oh, I talked to him maybe every 3 months.
He was the crackhead comic in Yuck Yucks that was amazing.
Dan-
But he just needed
A taser.
somebody to tell him to do it. He was one of those naturally funny guys, but he would never get anywhere without a manager.
Every city has somebody. I like your new shoes, by the way.
Thank you.
You want to get in the box?
All right.
And then jump out.
I like this box. Where'd you get this?
My same idiot that bought me those rubber feet
Oh, nice.
shows up with a sex Ouija board and
What?
various.
Have you ever done a Ouija board?
I am a Ouija board.
Do you believe in ghosts for real? 100%.
I don't believe in ghosts. I am a ghost.
Do you believe in energies that circle us? And
Yeah.
shit? Have you seen anything weird? Because I'm talking to this girl right now who.
See anything? This whole experience is weird.
It is.
Life is weird.
Life is very weird, and I love to embrace weirdness. This girl I met, her mom was working in a funeral parlor, and then she bought a cemetery. So her life was, since she was a kid, was just dark. She said she felt good and bad, weird feelings in the house all the time, different temperatures. But she's the nicest person. But she goes, I haven't seen anything physically in my face, but I know they're there because I feel it. But I never seen a ghost. But I know they're there. I go, so you never seen it? He goes, well, people say they see ghosts all the time. I never seen one, but I feel them all the time.
I think it's the same person that you swam out in open water.
Yeah.
And you felt the temperature change around you.
Yeah.
I think maybe some people are just more sensitive to certain
That kind of energy.
vibrations.
But you are too. You saw death. I remember you told me a story. This lady killed herself and jumped off her balcony, and then you were like, you and your brother.
I got to wear the skin for 2 weeks.
Yes. And then you said this. You're like, she's like, ay ay ay, while she fell.
Yeah, her foot hit the balcony. I remember that. It was terrifying.
Was
Thanks
it?
for bringing that up, Ron.
No, you.
Yeah, I was probably 5 years old. And
Is that the start of your dark comedy?
no, my dark comedy, until I moved to Europe, I played around with it up until the
Yeah, 'cause
early
you were that
2000s.
dark before.
No, but
You started with blonde hair.
I started doing more underground shit in front of an audience that was actually paying to see what I was doing.
Yeah.
It was less fringe in Europe, so it helped make me more.
Because you were like the Undertaker and Jim Carrey. Is that weird?
I was like an 80s wrestler.
Yeah. And a 90s superstar.
Superstar.
Funny guy. I was like Odd Job that met nobody.
Odd Job and Tom Hanks. What was the Odd Job actor's name?
I think
that
it-
wasn't his only role.
No.
I think he was actually
Well, there's two Odd Jobs. I don't know the original one from the
hat one.
The hat.
The
job. The
saw blade.
second one was a UFC fighter called.
like, how does he wear a hat with a blade in it?
I know. But he played frisbee as a kid. He said that's the story of Odd Job. He was a frisbee champion as a kid.
And that's
And
how he
then-
got the gig. But
yeah.
he was jacked.
He was jacked. He was.
He looked
He was like a Japanese.
square.
Yeah, he was like stock. That's how I looked when I started.
You were 250?
What? So what? You thought of me as this quiet, just kid that just tried to do comedy? Like, what were your thoughts? Because you're the wild guy.
I was like, I don't want this guy around.
Really?
No, when you showed up, I didn't think you were. I thought you were maybe 230.
My highest was ever was 248. I remember
But I never saw you really eat. Like, we've gone out and eat.
Yeah, but I would never show when I got home. So Kenny Robinson caught me eating like a pig. So we went out to dinner and he was like, all right, see you, kid. And then we went back to the hotel and he saw a Chinese delivery man bringing in 4 bags of like deep fried sweet and sour pork. And he goes, what you all that for? We just had dinner. And I was like, oh, this is for the next few days.
Yeah.
I ate it that day. So at night, I would smoke weed and eat maybe like 5 different dishes. Because that was my thing at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Everybody went to get laid.
I'm like that with ice cream, yeah. I'm like that with ice cream. Now that I don't drink, the ice cream and chocolate.
I love ice cream. My favorite ice cream is pistachio.
I got a real ice cream problem.
Oh, really?
Like,
what's your favorite?
First of all, in those fucking Reese's peanut butter cups, but the thin dark chocolate ones.
Oh, yeah.
With organic gummy worms.
Wow.
And an ice cream.
Yeah.
And maybe something on top of that that's gooey.
So that's
like all of it. Like,
that's
like
your
a bowl this big.
That's your shit now.
That's my shit now.
Wow.
I hadn't eaten chocolate bars. It was like 1 a year I'd have a chocolate bar. Now I have about 1,000 a year.
So you work out every day, you have to.
I exercise every day.
What do? You bike mostly?
No, there's a lake here that I run around.
Oh, nice.
And then, but I'll go ride the streets. I get a couple BMX buddies that I ride some parks and curbs with, and there's a gym here, so I'm going to actually spend the next few months.
So this is it for you? You think Texas is done? This is like the way you're going to stay for the rest of the next few years?
No. I don't know.
You don't know what's going to happen.
I'll be here off the top of my head.
A few years?
At least.
A couple years?
3, maybe 5.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
And then what makes you want to leave? It's kind of like I got to see something else before I die. That's what my head does.
The world is changing so dramatically that to make plans a year in advance almost seems silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You go day by day.
I will believe it when I see it, literally in 12 months. Then I would probably start looking more long-term goals and stuff. But I've always been on a 12-month cycle anyway.
Yeah, me too.
I found that is the best way to navigate my life is every 12 months I have a certain amount of things to do, and when the end of the year shows up, I initiate another cycle of that, and so on and so forth.
And you play specific shows that cater to your comedy, but you don't play...
No, I showed up and introduced comedy into a place that had no reason to be there.
Right.
Opening for black metal bands in Norway. No one asked for that.
How was that like?
Excellent.
They liked it?
Yeah. In Europe, no problem.
Metal bands are still big there.
They're huge.
So are you coming back anytime soon?
I want to go back in the spring. Look at April, May, June of next year.
I might do that too.
I know. I'm thinking about renting a place in Denmark for June.
Hey, I'll be down there.
Yeah.
I love
Let's
Denmark.
do it. Yeah, you work with Jonathan.
All the
You
time.
know what's up.
Yeah.
Did we do shows or you came in after?
I came in after. We did shows. You were after. You were always before me. So John used to put us up in they did theater shows in Sweden. Remember Jonathan Wolf? Wolf.
Oh, in Denmark. Yeah.
But remember the Wolf guy, his last name was John Wolf.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And then so he was a big drug dealer. Back he was 16.
Yeah, he went to jail when he was a kid for dealing dope.
Yeah, and then he started doing, and then I didn't know this, but he brought Bill Burr and CK before us, and they sold less than us because no one knew who they were.
Well, I had the luxury of being on Danish television that allowed me to sell a lot of tickets, but they had their own scene. You know,
you still don't see. They have like big comics that we've never seen them before that sell 20,000 seats or 10,000 seats. Or
I would say Ismo was probably the biggest
he was
European comic. He's taken off over here.
Yeah, it's 100 million views on Conan.
Yeah.
And he's coming back and
From Finland, for fuck's sake.
yeah, I was talking to Ross a couple of weeks ago. He says he's going to come back full time soon.
Yeah.
And
there's no point in him pissing around Hollywood waiting for the doors to open up.
and I introduced him to Korean barbecue. So he's never had Korean barbecue. Brought him there. He fucking goes, "Why is this so good?" He fucking goes all the time now.
My buddy from Norway never had a fish taco.
Wow, what do you say?
Every day. It was
They
funny.
love fish out there.
But he never had a fish taco. Oh, this is so good, this taco. I've never had this. And then he'd go, I'm hungry. Do you want fish tacos?
That's all he
Every
wants.
day he'd want fish tacos.
Yeah, because they
Couldn't believe it.
I remember when we were in Denmark, and they always had these fish breakfasts. There was like fish paste and fish
Yeah,
with
it's
bread.
like toothpaste. Smear.
Yeah.
It's like a caviar.
I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, some
Remember
of
that,
it,
Justin? We
it
had
tastes
fucking-
weird. It's a hot dog fish.
I loved it.
It's
I love the
interesting.
food out there.
On the hard bread, lots
Yeah.
of cheese, lots of fish. Christmas dinner in Sweden was always a weird thing. I got so constipated because all I was eating was ham and cheese for like 5 days.
They're into that.
And I had shit. Actually, the shit was so piled up, the fillings were starting to get pushed out of my teeth.
Oh my god.
That's how much log jam I had. There's no one here, by the way. I'm just looking. My neighbor's cat just ran by the window, shaped as a beard.
Hey, was I like a people said I was always nervous going doing stand up back in the day. Was I nervous or was I just quiet?
No, you were just observing. You knew that maybe if you kept your mouth shut, you might learn something.
Yeah, people talk too much in the green
They
room.
talk too much in the green room.
I was
And
giving
then I
out.
fart, and then they get angry. Why do you always got to talk about shit, piss, blood, and cum? I go, because you're boring. That's why. Miss. Anyway, welcome to the show. My guest on the show today, Ron Josol.
Thank you for having me.
Fuck, man, you're in Texas. We're in Texas.
So we started the show. The first show that we did was Barrels and Amps.
Yeah, how was that?
Unreal. Fucking do you ever play that room?
No.
Unfucking real.
Okay.
So I'll introduce you to the guys. That's because I'm Hollywood, and I'll introduce you.
Yeah, hook me up.
The second show was canceled, but then I called my agent. I said, "Do you know anything in Texas region?" He goes, "Give me a moment." It's like a guy.
Roma Room?
No, we played.
You did that, though.
Corbin Christie.
Yeah, Corpus Christi.
There's a couple of clubs there.
Uh-huh.
The small one is a great paying gig, so I did that. So he was like, "Yeah, I got you that."
Great.
And then the day after, we went to Laredo, which was a hidden gem.
Okay.
Fucking great, man. Like that was just in the border of Mexico.
Oh.
Right. So everybody there is kind of hipster, but Mexican though.
Yeah.
So they're very fucking woke.
Yeah.
It's just a weird place.
It
that-
is weird.
that they know
And
everything.
very short.
Very smart, cool kids. Short.
They're very short.
Very short.
I love going to see metal shows in LA because the only people that like the music I like
Latinos.
is Latinos.
Yeah, they love that shit.
So I could see the stage anywhere I stood in the room. It was great.
Oh, they love metal too.
They
That's
totally loved that. I was the only gringo in the room.
yeah. That you should sell that as a shirt.
But I was like the shortest person
yeah.
in,
But hidden gems around this whole country, or this whole state.
Yeah.
I don't even call this a state. I think it's a country.
Well, you know that from touring in Canada that
This is a big.
a lot of the livelihood is not necessarily in the A, B, or C towns, but the D and Fs.
Yeah. Because they're underground, cool spots that don't have
I'm
the
happy
money.
you showed up, yeah.
Yeah, they're just so happy we came out there. Then they brought us to the local bars and like the special drinks they make.
Come and fuck my wife in front of me.
Dude, I think it was very possible, right?
A lot of people will try to do that. Will get you to try and bang their wife.
Are you serious?
And I'll be like, what about door number 2? And they point to their kid in the wheelchair.
Oh my god.
Thanks for being on the show, Ron. Where can people find you?
So this next Ron Josol 1 on Instagram, but if anybody is going to be listening to this by next week, it's going to be the next week, Thursday to Saturday, 29 to August 1st. It'll be at the comic strip in El Paso.
Excellent. And your Instagram, social media
at Ron Josol 1.
At Ron Josol 1. I will be nowhere at this point, but I will be somewhere soon. I'll see you in June in Copenhagen.
Oh, let's do that for sure, man.
And thanks for listening, everybody. And you can find me on a episode of Catch a Predator. It's coming.
They're bringing it back with Arsenio Hall.
They are bringing it back. That'd be great. Arsenio's long finger pointing at you,
and it goes right on your ass.
I gotta say though, I'm actually starstruck when I do see Arsenio Hall.
Dude, I got to follow him, and first of all, I got to meet him, and he put Eddie Murphy on the phone.
Oh.
Like he was like, yes, you're in the green room of the Ice House. Were you there, Justin?
That's one thing that I want to see. Like the idea of Eddie Murphy getting on stage and doing comedy.
I know, that's crazy.
I think Rogan's going to create an environment that Eddie can come back and do comedy safely.
And practice.
And work on his material.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And I think we can all agree that 3 out of the guys in this room will cry if they saw. We're going to stick with the 2 white guys first. You would cry if you saw Eddie Murphy on stage, right? Ron would laugh because the 3 of us would be crying. Oh, we love black comedians. Yeah, it would be amazing. I would totally freak out. There's not too many things that actually...
Him and Jim Carrey. If Jim Carrey did, that'd be fucking amazing. I saw the one he did before. The last comic special he did.
Rubberface.
Fucking amazing.
Or no, Unnatural Act.
It was Unnatural Act.
Yeah, it was a Comedy Central thing. I remember seeing clips of that in his biography and then tracking it down in some YouTube.
I'm surprised you ever met him.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah,
I can't. What are you gonna do? Hey, yeah.
You know, one of Gavin's idols is Will Smith, and we saw him come out of a movie theater.
He's handsome, man.
He's very handsome, and Gavin was so freaked out he hid behind me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, why? He's like, it was Will Smith. I just can't deal. I was like, what the fuck?
Who gives you a hug as a guy, and then you panic and kiss him on the lips because you don't know how to deal with the situation? Oh yeah, but no, you can't just do that.
And I remember, so I called Russell. I go, yo, he just came out of the theater, Will Smith. He goes, yeah, he was just in my house. He left to go watch a movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's when I knew I was too Hollywood.
Theo Vaughn's got a great bit about running into Brad Pitt in the studio, and they pull on the door at the same time.
Right.
So now he's caught his eye, and there's this whole kind of romantic exchange of like, wow, that guy's beautiful.
Oh yeah. Can I tell one story right before we leave?
Yeah.
It's when I met Jimmy Fox.
My mother's gonna be home in a minute, but yeah.
So Jimmy Fox, I was in a movie at ABC. Movie of the week.
Bait.
It wasn't Bait.
Okay,
it was way before that.
My brother was an extra on Bait.
It was called Redemption. He plays Tukey Williams. The Bloods, the founder of the Bloods. So
that's weird.
Yeah, and so the scene's in a prison. We're all wearing orange. So he starts making in between the cuts. He's making fun of me, which is fine. But then he's doing actual stand up for the crew. And I said this just for fun. Oh, fuck off. I goes, what? And he goes, everybody take 10. And he brings me to a corner and he goes, what the fuck are you telling me to fuck off?
He said that?
Yeah. I go, well, you're making fun of me 2 days. I can't say fuck off. And he's like, where are you from? Why are you acting like this? Where are you from? I go, where are you from? Like where are you from? I go, my parents are in the Philippines. He's like, well, we're not in the Philippines. I'm like, yeah, we're not in Africa either.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? And then he goes, you can't disrespect me like that. I'll kick you out of the set right now. Good. And I go, good. I'm not even an actor. I'm a comic. Well, that's even worse because I'm a comic and I fucking open doors for people like you. I go, you didn't open doors for me. You stole from Richard Pryor. I saw your last HBO special. And he's like,
did you for real?
Yeah. No, I said that. This is when I was still fighting. This is 2001, and I was like doing tournaments. I was really pumped, and I wanted to fight him because he was being an asshole.
Yeah.
And then he goes, you know what? I did it.
This is not the Philippines.
He goes, this is not the Philippines. This is not Africa either. And then he goes, you can't disrespect me like that. I go, you stole from Richard Pryor, so I got Africa bit. And he goes, I did it because I did that bit because I wanted to show respect to him and homage to him. Go back to set. So after I watched the movie, I'm no longer in it.
Yeah.
I don't even finish the week.
No.
My speaking lines are done.
Yeah. Oh, you were cast in this. This is an extra thing.
No, I was cast.
You had a line.
I had 2 lines.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, so I was no longer in it. Like you saw my foot.
Yeah.
Waited and they saw my foot.
Yeah, I know.
And then I'm not even joking. So that's 2001, and then maybe 2015. I'm in Pasadena. We're at
the Ice House.
Yeah, and then we go to the restaurant called the Crustaceans. That's right near there. And so it's closing up. I go to the bathroom. The door opens. It's Jamie Foxx, and he goes. What he says to me after 15 years. Yo, I didn't steal from Richard Pryor, man.
No.
Yeah.
He remembered.
Yeah.
So you were right.
I don't know, but
First of all,
he said it 15 years later. Yeah, that was it.
Someone pay attention. I'm glad I didn't have that interaction with Keenan Ivory.
I took your fucking fisting one joke.
Yeah.
We would like to see most of the human race killed off because it is unworthy. It is unworthy of the gift of life.
I don't care what society thinks. They're nothing anyway. They're no better than me.
Until we hear the safe word, we will not stop.
Have you ever thought what it would be like to see a person's head amputated? Think of things so horrible that the human mind cannot imagine them. See all this and more when you see on stage, in person, that crazy mix-up.
I like being set apart from people. I like to be hated.
Safe Word with Jason Rouse.